Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to the Builder Investor podcast. Today we have got Emily. She's a friend of mine. She's also local to Stoke-on-Trent. I believe she does a lot of deal packaging, but obviously, Emily, if you'd like to just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, my name's Emily. I am part of Properties for Potteries, which is primarily a deal sourcing company, as you say. So, based in Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire, and Cheshire, from the local area, as you say. Basically, it's a hands-free service for people who want to invest in property but perhaps don't know how, don't have the time to do it themselves. You know, they're busy individuals and don't have the local network and contacts and things like that. So it's very much the kind of cheesy personal property shopper term.
So you offer a pretty much full end-to-end service then?
Yes.
Right through to, completion. And do you offer maintenance as well moving forward, or is it?
So we offer managed refurbs with the service. So yeah, when we kind of take the project on, we'll help you do it up, get the value up and pull that money out of there. And then in terms of like long-term maintenance, it would be more like handing you over to a kind of reputable local letting agent. So we don't kind of manage the maintenance long-term, but we can definitely put you in contact with the best people in the area who do.
That's okay. Yeah, I did pretty much exactly the same for best part of a year, and I think that's pretty much how I met you.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think I spotted you on Instagram initially.
Yeah. Well, we both came through the same kind of training program, didn't we? And kind of connected
both
through there.
came
I think.
to Jamie York, didn't we? So yeah. Obviously, it worked out that property packaging, deal packaging, whatever you want to call it, didn't really work. It wasn't for me. It wasn't really what I was looking for. But how are you finding it at the moment? Are you?
Yeah, great. I think it plays to my strengths very well. I'm really enjoying it, and I think. So I guess to rewind a little bit, part of the reason as to why I went into the deal packaging business to start off with, I come from quite a sort of corporate background, so worked in an office job. It was based in marketing, and worked there since leaving university, and it was all very much, coordinating different things, managing different moving parts, different personalities, different people, and anyone who knows me knows I love organisation, I love a process, a tracker, Excel, all those kinds of things. So I really enjoy that part of the hands-free service, being able to like manage it on behalf of people, and that's what most people who come to me don't enjoy. They don't like emailing all the different people and managing the timelines and all the different things. So I enjoy it. I think there's definitely challenges as with anything, but overall it's been a really positive experience for me.
So obviously we'll go back to a younger Emily. Obviously you must have done well in school I take it you went to university.
I did.
Doing the corporate job. So yeah. What was the younger Emily like then? What was she into? And
very sort of as a lot of people, I think, just very much brought up with the traditional sort of mindset of going to school, GCSEs. Well, I don't even know if they're even called GCSEs anymore, but GCSEs, A-levels, uni. I very much followed the kind of traditional route, and didn't really start to think about earning my own kind of money and stuff until later on. I always thought, I was aiming to work for someone else, work for a company with, security, full-time employment, pension, all the fun stuff. In terms of that, it was kind of just a very traditional route. Didn't do any training in property at that point. I actually did a degree in music technology with management at Staffordshire University, which was great and was something I enjoyed at the time. But it was again probably another example of just following the path that a lot of my friends were doing. That was kind of expected, I suppose. And then I came out of uni and just went into straight into this sort of corporate office job, which was marketing, because I enjoyed a lot of the marketing aspects of the course as well. And I learned loads in the office job. I'm really glad I did it, because when I went in I was so green, and I'd only worked in like retail, hospitality. I hadn't had like a proper job at that point. And like I say, I'd learned so many skills that have now carried me forward to what I'm doing today.
you had a lot to do with social media, didn't you? Is that what the marketing was based around then?
Exactly, yeah. So it was paid social advertising. So basically adverts on paid social. So anytime you put in money behind content.
So that come in pretty handy then when you made the move over to property.
Big time.
So what actually sparked the move then? What did you just wake up one morning and think, I'm going to do some property? Or was that pivotal moment that most people have some kind of experience or moment that kind of pushes them over?
Yeah, it was kind of more a gradual thing. So my husband Toby, he's self-employed, so he's a joiner, in the trade like yourself, has been since leaving school. Like his dad's an electrician, his brother's a builder. He's very much kind of come from that different sort of background than me, so he's always been very as I say, self-motivated, self-employed, all that kind of stuff. And so when we got together and everything, we knew that he wasn't having that secure kind of pension, all these kinds of things. So we knew that we wanted to set something up to kind of give us security long term, and that's when we sort of started getting into property personally. So we the first house that we bought, our residential property, was really run down. It needed loads and loads of work, so we managed to get it at a great price. It's in a great location. It's a nice, it's a 3-bed detached property, so we knew that we had that scope there to add the value to it. We did lots and lots of work to it, and then managed to remortgage it after the mortgage term ended, and then we managed to pull out equity from that we could then put into our
that's
first
quite unusual for someone who's took that path of going to school, being taught, and in the system, university, you're taught to pay your mortgage off. Are you with me?
I know.
So for someone to actually take money out and move into property, it's quite unusual. That so obviously. Had you seen something about that, or was it just something that you thought that this was a good idea? Or it was kind of just like the typical YouTube videos, researching it myself. As I say, at the start, Toby was very, very into it as well, and he was doing a lot of research as well. We both just kind of started learning about it together. And just like Jamie York, all the classic kind of videos. I loved watching those kinds of things. It's one of the first people you see, isn't it? When you turn YouTube on, he's like, his face is just there, isn't it? With his millions of videos.
Yeah. So that's how we kind of got into it, and then happily we were able to pull out enough to fund deposits for 2 buy-to-let properties. So that we've still got today. One's just coming up for a remortgage actually. So they've grown over time with us. So that was how we kind of got into our own personal property investment side of things. And then alongside all of that, I was in this job, moving up the ranks, getting more and more kind of responsibility and more stress. Really, I was just getting really burnt out, quite ill, really, not enjoying it at all. COVID had hit, we were all working from home, and I just knew that I wanted to make a change. And then, as I say, all the skills that I'd learned from that job, the fact that Toby is a joiner in the trade, could offer all that side of things in one package, and the fact that we'd started investing ourselves, it all just kind of came together, I suppose. And then it wasn't overnight, because it took me a lot of courage to build up.
I was going to say, how long did it take you before you realised you wanted to actually quit your job and go full time? Was that a recent thing, or?
It was, when was it now? So I did like a 3-month intensive property training course with Jamie York. I think similar to what you did, or one of them. And I think at that point I had handed in my notice at work, which was also a 3-month notice period.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm very, fortunate in the fact that I had, a bit of savings to fall back on at that point. Toby is working. I know a lot of people couldn't kind of just make that decision, but I got to the point where I was that burnt out in the old job. I just thought, I'm just going to go for it.
And I take it no children.
No,
so,
no, just 2
that
dogs.
always makes it a little bit easier.
And again, that was part of the reason. We've got no real ties. We've just do it now, and then hopefully it'll pay off in the long term, and happily it has.
So I take it. Well, I've seen you absolutely smashing it at the minute. So you're getting quite a few deals across the line, stuff like that. I've seen you've done a couple of refurbs and what have you as well Is that other people's properties, or are those your deals that you've found? Or
yeah, a bit of both really. So we've had refurbs that haven't been within like the hands-free property, like we haven't sourced that property, we've just come in and taken care of the refurb aspect of it. We've had ones where I've gone through the full process. We've got like a managed refurb coming up, which is going to be quite extensive. We've got another one which is just little bits and pieces. So yeah, it's been a real variety, but it's it definitely took a while to get there. I mean,
it does to build that trust up. Well, you'll know, you've been on social media anyway. It's kind of it is not a quick thing. It's a slow burner, especially things like Instagram and YouTube. It's not. It's not overnight, definitely. So
no, it's not.
And to build that trust up for people to actually want to work with you or invest with you or whatever, takes a while. People are not just going to go one video. I like it. There's 100 grand. It doesn't work like that, does it? So,
no. I mean, these are people's like savings, inheritance, like massive. The big sums of money. So it takes a lot, I should say, to build the trust up.
So I take as deal packaging, are you seeing it as a long-term business opportunity, or is it just a stepping stone into doing more of your own? Or
I mean, ultimately I suppose the aim is for the deal packaging to be funding our own portfolio. So
you see it as long-term then, as a business model then?
And as it's working at the moment, it's doing great. I mean, I'm always open to tweaking things and evolving, and as I said, in the first year it took a long time to get that side of the business off the ground. So then it was all about getting other sources of income in there as much as possible. So as you'll know, it's just all about adapting and learning, isn't it?
It's the problem is, I think, with property and property education is there's so much out there, and I've said it probably a million times before on Instagram on this podcast, that the whole education system around property, none of it's regulated at all. The CPD, but that's not really a regulation, that's just an accreditation that they can basically hand you a certificate. But obviously if you get taught within this is the system when you go to school, although we know that's not the best system in the world, but you're watched over by the likes of Ofsted and people like that. So they stipulate what's in the curriculum, what's taught, how it's taught, and things like that. There's none of that in property. You can basically a free for all. So, which is good because it allows people to teach in the way they want to, but also it's got the opposite effect of it allows a lot of charlatans in. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So taking the good advice with the bad advice and knowing which one to take, and
definitely,
you know what I mean? Because when you do generally see people that'll say, you can be financially free in a week or 30 days, or
it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Get that first deal across the line within that first six weeks, and sometimes it doesn't happen for some people, and it's circumstances, isn't it? Your circumstances might be completely different to mine.
Definitely.
I could have a lot of high net worth individuals just in my circle already. I'm on a winner already there if I'm deal packaging, because I've that first obstacle of finding people that want to invest are already there. Are you with me? So I don't think they should be teaching a one style fits all thing. Are you with me? So, but that's just my opinion. So
I agree.
What's your take on it?
I agree. As you say, it's hard to that, like you say, the social media and everything, it's very overcrowded, isn't it, with people who are giving out advice, and you've got people who are qualified and experienced, and then people who aren't but might seem like they are with their following, and if they've got good quality content, you might kind of fall into the trap of thinking they know more than they do.
That's what I mean. You can be very good at putting Facebook ads out, but absolutely terrible at educating. Are you with me? So ultimately, it's the marketing that gets you in front of people, not the actual the product itself. Are you with me?
And it depends what's happening in the market as well. When I launched the full hands-free package and stuff, the interest rates shot up. So then everyone was panicking.
I was at the same point. I'm gonna hang off for a little bit and wait till the interest rates come down. And everyone was talking about there's always now's the best time to invest regardless of what the interest rate is, and if you wait 6 months or 12 months, you've lost 12 months revenue, income, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see that you've gone in with an open mind. You've stuck at it, because a lot of people don't stick at it.
Yeah.
You've done it correctly. Because a lot of people are not doing it correctly. You've become compliant. You know what I mean? You've got insurance and things like that, and you know what I mean. You've stuck at it and done it the correct way.
Yeah.
And then you end up with quality investors and not
That's
just
what I've found.
tire kickers. Are you with me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Better to take that little bit longer and do it. I've just literally seen a post about, why is it taking me so long? It's because I'm not scamming people and, all the rest of the things, So
no, I think that's such a good point. Like, as you say, it's when you're in it, it's obviously hard and you're thinking, oh God, like I'm never going to get any clients, I'm never going to get any investors. But then now I'm at the point where I have got, these people on my books.
So did you ever feel like quitting?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I got very close a few times.
Yeah.
And still have my moments now when stuff is not going right.
Yeah.
Are you with me? Yeah.
No.
So I've just literally had an email off a solicitor we were just discussing before we came on air.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus Christ. It's not my solicitor, obviously. It's one I'm just using of a deal that's part way through kind of thing that I took hold of. But
things you can't control, again.
Uncontrollable. There's a lot of them in property, isn't there?
Yeah.
Especially around conveyancing, brokers, things like that. We have to rely on a lot of people.
Yeah.
And if your team's not strong, if it's not good, you only take one weak person within that. That's like one weak link in the chain, isn't it? The whole thing goes, kind of thing. So.
Yeah. But I suppose it brings it back to that value, and as you were saying about not knowing who to trust online, comes back to that physical network around you as well, and that local network. Like, I think we've both seen the network, the property investment network in Stoke-on-Trent grow massively, just over the last year. Yeah, it's gone crazy, hasn't it? Yeah. And I'm really grateful for you to you introduced me to most of them to start off with.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I invited you down to Property and Poppadoms, didn't I?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually hosted the event last week.
Yeah, was it good?
So it was quite good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. My wife thought it was crazy because I've got a lot on as it is. Are you with me? But I don't see that as work.
No,
I see that and things like this, the podcast and social media. That's enjoyable to me.
Yeah,
the work is, getting in the property and refurbing it and dealing with solicitors and all the stuff that goes along with it. It's sometimes not enjoyable, is it? Sometimes it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, I'll say a little bit less about them anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, solicitors, brokers. But yeah, so obviously, what is your niche then? Do you niche down, or do you just do you go for whatever your clients want you to look for? Have you said no to clients because of?
I have, I have
unicorn deals and things like that. Yeah,
no, I've definitely had, again, more like earlier on in the process where it's tempting to just take anyone on because you want someone so bad. But yeah, there's been people, saying they only want all money out deals, unrealistic budgets, coming with not enough funds for what they actually want to achieve, all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely been instances where I've thought, I'm not going to commit to delivering something that's not realistic here. It's better for me to just tell you what I can deliver, and if we're not aligned, then that's fine. And then maybe you'll come back to me when you've been around every other sourcer in the country and found that they can't deliver it.
This is part of the thing with the education, isn't it? There's a lot. I mean, everyone's a deal sourcer at the minute. Yeah. I got to the point where I would not call myself a deal sourcer.
Really?
I always use the words deal packager.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just seem to think that it kind of set me apart from some of the others that weren't compliant, weren't coming through the £1 courses and things like that, and then Facebook page, right, I'm a deal sourcer. It takes a lot more. Are you with me? Part of the reason why I do my refurbishment masterclass is because it astounded me when I came into the world of property about investors that have been doing it for, some of them, a long time, who had no idea on costs for refurbs and things like that.
Yeah.
Or, deal packages, and it was just a finger in the air job, like, 10 grand for this refurb.
Yeah, it's mad.
And I was getting people contacting me for quotes on refurbishments, and they were like, I bought it from a deal sourcer. They've told me it was 12 grand, for instance, to do this refurb. Can you price the refurb? And when I come back to them, it's like, yeah, you better sit down because it's closer to 30 grand. And it's, all of a sudden that deal doesn't work. So obviously not a very good deal source. So.
Definitely, yeah. It's such a massive chunk of it, isn't it? And obviously you've got the expertise, and that's why I'm happy to be able to offer like that expertise.
Well, you've got Toby to do that kind of thing for you, haven't you? So it works as a good team. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, if you speak to anyone within property and ask them what the most important thing is, that everyone will say the numbers.
Yeah.
And a massive proportion of those numbers is the refurbishment. If you're doing, BRR or there's a refurbishment involved, it's a huge part of it. So to get it wrong is massive, especially in short terms like flips and things like that.
Yeah.
Where you've not got that, that bit of a buffer of time.
Yeah, so. And you've got to have current knowledge as well, haven't you? Like, obviously with everything going on in the economy at the moment, material prices have changed. Like, it's not the same as the year ago.
This is the whole reason why when I started the podcast, people were asking, because I've had a couple people that have been in it quite a long time. We've been doing it a while, and a few people asked, is that all you're going to have? Like the big hitters, the people, and I was like, no. The whole reason I've started the podcast is because I want newbies, people that are like maybe a year, 2 years into the journey. I want to know what they're finding difficult. And are you with me? Because like you've just said, they are current. They are experiencing it now. Whereas the guy that's got, a £10 million portfolio might not have bought anything for the last 5 years.
Definitely,
what I mean? He might be in property, living off property, but is he actively trading at property at the minute? Are you with me?
Yeah.
And things have changed massively. It's an ever-changing thing, isn't it,
Definitely.
property? So.
Yeah.
No, so tell us about the two buy-to-lets that you have got now. Were they good deals or were they a while back or?
Yeah, no, well they're probably what you would call vanilla buy-to-lets. They're nothing too crazy, but that's
strong and steady though.
Strong and steady, exactly. That's what we wanted, and they've definitely paid off up till now. So they're in a great rental location in Stoke-on-Trent, so Basford, so near the hospital, near Newcastle. I always advise that's a great area for those kinds of properties. The first one that we got was it needed quite a significant refurb to it, so it was in a pretty bad state. It was very dangerous electrically in there as it was when we bought it. Obviously people had been making their own little tweaks to the electrics before, and we needed to go in and make it safe safe first and foremost. There was damp in there that needed proper treatment, and just full decorative, new kitchen, new bathroom. So it was basically a full refurb, and we turned the refurb around really quickly. I think it was within 6 weeks or something. And then we managed to get a tenant in really quickly. So and then as I say, that was we had that in a 2-year fix. It's just coming up to the end of the fix now, and we're looking at remortgaging it, and we're able to pull a nice chunk out of it now because of the value we added.
Initially, was that like an all money out deal? Was it at that time, or was it in the middle of the big interest rates? So
it was just before, to be fair. So it wasn't all money out, but I mean, we're still really happy with what we've pulled out of it, because it's gonna, it's nearly enough for another deposit for another one, really. So
and when I say big interest rates, honestly, I don't mean that, because when I bought my first ever property,
it was
1996 or something like that, 95 maybe, I can't, it was not far after I'd left school. And the interest rates were like 14.5% then. Yes, properties were a lot cheaper, but obviously wages were a lot lower as well. So, and we managed fine. Are you with me? Obviously 14% now of £300,000 is a lot more than 14% back then of 50 grand. Are you with me? Which you could buy a house for comfortably then. So, but interest rates have been all over the place over the years. If you actually look through the record books, they've been all over the place. I don't know if they'll ever go that high again. But that's probably one for the likes of Danny Inman and people like that actually study the data properly.
I'll just watch his updates.
I just watch him. I've said that to him the other day. I said, I don't even bother watching the news no more, Danny. I just look at your updates on Instagram.
So sorry, you bought your first property a year after leaving school?
A year after leaving school.
That's mad. Wow.
It was an absolute dive. Yeah, but I didn't need hardly any deposit then. You could get 100% mortgage. Well, they didn't have any deposit, it was 100% mortgage.
That's crazy.
In fact, they were giving 120% mortgages out then.
Yeah.
Northern Rock, I think it was, or something like that.
I've heard that, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I might be slightly out by a year or two, but I'm around about that time. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So I'm 45 now. It was a long time ago. A lot of things have happened. Yeah, and I woke up with a migraine this morning.
Yeah.
So not thinking straight. But yeah. So where are you looking to be then? Obviously, you've got this new business that you're now full time in. You've just said that you see that as a long term thing. You've said also that it's to create money to put back into property. So is that your strategy now, to just basically buy and hold as much property as you can?
Definitely a fan of buy and hold. I don't think we'll be selling anything in a long time. I think we're keen on holding the assets, having the capital growth over time, taking
even
on
if
more.
Something presented itself as a really good flip,
I suppose,
would you dismiss it, or would you?
No, I wouldn't dismiss it. I'd definitely, have a look at the numbers for sure. If it was something that we were then going to get a big chunk out that we could then put in something even better to hold, then definitely. I think probably like diversifying a little bit in terms of perhaps having a bit of social housing there, maybe service accommodation at some point. I think as we take on more and more properties, it'd be good to kind of diversify the different types, but the sort of single let, the buy to lets will always be the foundation of it, I think, for what we're thinking. And then in terms of like the deal packaging side, really just continuing to grow. It's great that clients that I've got on board at the moment are all in a position where they'll hopefully come back and do the same again. Just continuing to grow
I've
the
literally yesterday, I think it was, given your number to one of my clients that we did one. I think he came. No, he didn't. We did one on a place called Hillport Avenue. It was finished about 3 or 4 months ago, and he's come back to us the other day and asked us to do another. Now I've stopped deal packaging, so I just give him your number. So
thanks.
So you might get a call off him. So
no, that's perfect. I mean, again, that just goes down to the importance of the network, doesn't it? Like, it's so great to have that those opportunities come in. Like, I've messaged you about people messaging about building work before that we can't take on, and it's all about just working together. And
I'm a massive believer in in collaborating rather than being in competition with one another. Because you'll go a lot further. When you go in competition and you actively whether you're slagging each other off or bad mouthing or trying to outdo each other with marketing, things like that, I just think it's a recipe for disaster. Both of you are going to suffer, not just the one. Are you with me? So you might as well
build trust, and you want people to see you as trustworthy people. They don't want to see you in like an online spat with someone. Exactly.
So right, what can we talk about now? so what is it you like to do anyway for fun? So I've seen camper van on your drive.
Yes, very true. We're renovating a camper van at the moment, so it's a bright yellow XGHL Mercedes Sprinter. So I've christened it Homer because it's bright yellow. Just renovating that at the moment. We renovated one last year, which was just a Renault Traffic. So we sold that, and now this one is like a long wheelbase. It's got no pop top. You can stand up in it, which is nice. Like going away in the camper van. I've got 2 dogs, so love kind of walking and hiking with them. I mean, to be fair, property's kind of taken over more than it should probably over the last couple of years. To be honest
though, the beauty of being in property, there's nothing stopping you jumping in your camper van with a laptop and a phone or a camera or something and going having a holiday, but still working as well. Are you with me?
That's the
plan. That's a good side of it, isn't it? It's everyone's at the end of the phone. You can do your social media from wherever you are. In fact, the more places you visit, the more attractive it looks. So it's amazing for things like that, and with the internet now, we can get online at pretty much anywhere in the world. So why not?
No, definitely, and I think it's obviously again that's why I kind of chose to specialise in Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire, because obviously I know the area well. So I know the streets and which areas are good, which areas are bad. So I don't necessarily need to be here all the time, because obviously I have that knowledge anyway. So
so what's your typical find then? So so you say a new investor comes to you now, what are you typically finding for them? Is it, are you looking for terraced houses, or is it, have you got a niche kind of thing that you look for?
It really depends on their criteria. So in terms of like a niche, I suppose typically it's more kind of buy-to-lets or BRRs that I'm dealing with at the moment. A lot of that is, as you say, terrace properties, kind of 2 up, 2 down, perhaps like a semi-detached or a great detached if you're looking to do a nice BRR there. It's typically just dependent on whatever the client wants to achieve, within reason as to what I feel is realistic I can deliver. Being fully transparent, we don't have like a massive build team to take on huge HMO conversions and flips and all those kinds of things. Maybe later down the line we will, it's more the kind of just buy-to-lets, BRRs, and nice kind of smaller refurb projects, I suppose. Just anything that the numbers stack in well with, to be honest. And as I say, in terms of like niche as to who my clients are, it's very much those kinds of busy individuals, people who don't have loads of experience in property themselves. They're looking for help, they're looking for guidance, and for me to just take care of the legwork so that they can enjoy the positive side.
Go off in the camper vans.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Let's go back slightly again.
Okay.
And go back to obviously your corporate life, because I know people will be interested in this, especially within property.
Yeah.
So obviously you were involved in social media marketing quite heavily.
Yes.
Within your, the job that you did before property. So are there any tips you can give for people building, social proof, social media and marketing on there for property? Because it's a big thing, isn't it?
Of
Are you with
course,
me?
yeah.
I see it, it's free.
Yeah.
And anyone's not using it, it's crazy. Are you with me? It's a free 100%. Marketing tool.
There's millions and millions of daily active users on all social platforms. So the reality is, if you're not tapping into that in some way, then you are missing out on a big chunk of your potential customer base, whatever that might be, whatever you might do. I think tips would be consistency is key. So I think a lot of people always ask like, how, what's the magic number? How often should I post? And you often see things like, if you post every day for 90 days, you're guaranteed to go viral. Well, that's not always the case. Sometimes you might, sometimes that might happen, but consistency overall is best. So you need to be able to keep up a rate that you can consistently post good quality content. So if you feel that you can commit to posting a really great piece of content every day for 90 days and that you can do that, then great, go for it. But the reality is you're probably going to post a bit of a rubbish one on the 5th day when you forgot that you were doing it, or you'll miss a day on Sunday when you slept in or whatever. So it's best to kind of just have consistency, and whether that's 3 times a week, even once a week, that the algorithm will favour posting consistently and regularly rather than just often for the sake of it. That's what I would say. And show your face as well. So not all people like doing that. I know you're okay with that.
Doesn't bother me. Yeah.
And I'm all right with it now, but it took some getting used to. But people connect with people. Again, it's a really old cheesy term, but people don't connect with logos and brands. They want to see your face.
I'm on the fence with it a little bit now, opposed to where I was when I started. I was a firm believer that people do business with people, so you've got to show your face and build that personal brand. But where I'm at now is, I can now see it as, have I made a mistake? Because I can now not step away from it. Are you with me? The brand, the whole thing is built around me as the builder investor. So if I wanted to take a break and let's, get staff in or whatever.
Yeah, true.
I've still got to be here. I've still got to be present. The business is me. Are you with me? So, but I know it's harder to build a business brand rather than a personal brand. Are you with me? So.
Yeah, but I mean, in your personal brand, that's a great foundation to then go and grow something on top of that. So a great example would be like Jamie York, for example.
Well, I would imagine he's at the point now where he will see that struggle. Are you with me? He's
Yeah.
I've seen earlier today, he's off in Dubai or somewhere, enjoying the fruits of his labour, because he's worked bloody hard for what he's got. So yeah, why not? But obviously, when people want to be mentored by Jamie, and obviously he's not available because he's doing what he wants to do, it's difficult. Are you with me? Because he's built that personal brand, and I applaud him for doing it. And it's amazing what he's done on YouTube. Is out of this world. I think it's 30,000 subscribers now, isn't it, or something like that? Yeah. And it's scary, but he cannot not step away from Jamie York. Jamie York is Jamie York. Are you with me? So.
Yeah, I suppose the YouTube is very centered around him, as you say, and him. But what I've noticed in terms of like his Instagram and maybe his other social media channels is it's more like Aspire, his company. He's bringing in the other people in the business as well, the other familiar faces that you kind of get to know. So.
And don't take offence, Jamie, if you do watch this. You probably won't do that, but
Yeah, no, it's a compliment. It's definitely a compliment. I think it's just an example of, as you say, someone who's built like a great personal brand, and then you can then build on top of that, I suppose, as to what you want to do from that. I'm just babbling now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like that. I mean, just through my building company, are you with me? I will obviously go out and price a job, we'll produce an estimate and things like that and send it over.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it's not me who turns up to do the work, which it's not going to be because I'm a project manager, are you with me? Some customers can be funny about that, are you with me? That I've one that was the face of the company initially, and then we send other lads, tradesmen, to do, and it's like, I find it a bit bizarre sometimes. I mean, I addressed it once with, what did I say to this guy? I says, have you got Virgin TV? He's like, yeah. I was like, did Richard Branson come and fit it for you? And that shut him up. But yeah, people buy into people, don't they? Yeah.
So it's an interesting. I've not really thought about that before, to be fair. Yeah, it's interesting from a marketing point of view. I suppose it's almost PR, isn't it? Like thinking about that. So yeah, it's one to consider. And I suppose as you scale up and as you grow, people always talk about outsourcing certain things of your business, but then if you have built the brand around yourself, it's harder to outsource.
You can't outsource your face, can you?
No, not really, not at the moment. Well, AI, you probably can.
Yeah, probably can do in about 5 years' time, can't we? Yeah. So with social media, you're basically saying it's consistency.
I would
pretty
say
much like everything else, isn't it?
Yeah, consistency. I would say showing your face, and there's some best practices as well, things like making sure that your content's short and snappy, generally no videos like longer than a minute,
a good hook at the front,
a good hook, optimizing for like sound off is always a good one. So a lot of people watch social media without listening to it. They might be on the train or under their desk.
But they say 80% of people flick through Instagram Reels with the sound off, don't they? Or something like that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's something like that. So make sure that you're using things like captions, and Instagram will favour that anyway because you're making your content more accessible. So I mean,
what's your opinion on call to actions? Because I hear a lot of debate on it, because some people will say call to action is pushy.
Okay.
It kind of pushes people into a corner and almost they don't want to then interact. Yeah. And then other people say you've got to have a call to action. People need to be told what to do almost. Are you with me? So
I would tend to agree with the second statement one. More. I mean, I suppose it depends how you're phrasing it. If you're like screaming in capital letters, click on this.
Click this button.
That's probably a bit pushy. But a good CTA shouldn't be an issue. Like you, as you say, it's just making it clear as to what the user does, what you want them to do, showing them where to go. Again, simplifying everything, making it super easy for people to understand. So I would say CTAs is generally a good thing. Yeah. But I suppose don't be rude.
I mean, I heard one the other day as well about controversy. Controversy is a good thing in social media, even if people are giving it the attention for the wrong reasons. Any attention's better than others. Some people are actually controversial on there purposefully to attract attention, you know what I mean, to build following and things like that. But in my opinion, you're building the wrong following there, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're building people that don't like you.
Yeah. No, it's like, what is it, all press is good press or something. It's like an old saying, isn't it? But the reality is, like, controversy and controversial topics probably will get you impressions and views and a bit of buzz on your account. The algorithm will then pick that up, and you might grow, but as you say, it's probably going to be not to the right people. It's going to be for people who are just there to engage with the drama, and then you just become this character that has to keep that up. And I wouldn't go down that route personally. I mean, some people,
I've been a little bit controversial, but not intending to.
Yeah.
I think it's just personal opinion sometimes that people just don't agree with.
Yeah.
Every
well, that's being
opinion
authentic,
that you have,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, I suppose it depends what the opinion is, but it's again, people connect with people being authentic, and I wouldn't say be controversial for the sake of it. But just stand by your values, and as long as they're not too crazy. Yeah,
because then people that think the same, that align with you, those are the customers you want anyway, because they've got the same values as you, aren't they? So
yeah.
And then very last question on social media: shadow ban, real or fake? Because I was told last week I've got a shadow ban on my account.
Right.
And I had to get rid of a load of followers that weren't authentic followers, which I did, and he dropped me following by about 500-600 followers.
Right.
And all of a sudden, my engagement started picking back up again.
Interesting.
So I don't know whether it's real or not. If you talk to Instagram, they say there's no such thing as a shadow ban, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know if the concept of a shadow ban is an actual thing, but the algorithm's a fickle thing for sure. And you do have to keep on top of things like your spam followers and all those kinds of things, because at the end of the day, they're based on algorithms. It's computers, it's code, there's not real people behind these decisions that are being made as to how your content's being posted out. So it's tricky. It's I haven't got an answer for that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, nobody has. Everyone asks, like, I don't know. Yeah. But we're totting on now, 42 minutes, so that's around about the time when I try and cut it out. So
perfect.
Before we obviously wind it up, would you like to tell everyone who's tuned in where they can get hold of you if they're interested in using your service?
Absolutely, so you can find me on all social media channels under Properties for Potteries, and that's with a number 4. It's a tongue twister for some people, but flying the flag for Stoke-on-Trent and the Potteries.
And anyone outside of the Potteries, Stoke-on-Trent, it's called the Potteries because we've got basically a heritage of pot banks where China was built here, so I'll just explain that one very quickly. But thanks for coming, Em. Honestly, really appreciate you coming, and it's nice to have someone sat next to me that's kind of almost been on that simultaneous journey as me. Are you with me? Obviously, we've gone different ways in the end, but we started pretty much similar time. We started in the same way, and it's very interesting to see which paths that we have took. So and it's nice, it's nice to have you here, basically a year or two down the line. When we're doing things like this. So brilliant. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And thanks for all the support so far.
Amazing. So if you'd like to subscribe, obviously you can do that. Make sure you get the little bell link icon if you're watching on YouTube, and then just try and give us a bit of feedback, comments, things like that. It helps massively with the algorithm. So consistency, consistently like our posts. So we'll see you in again, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.